Cody spearheading this. Let's give him a fucking round of applause. Right? And whoever put the slideshow together, it's wonderful.
Michelle.
Like so revealing of Chom and his personality and like sides of him that I didn't know. Awesome. It's
Josh,
awesome.
by the way, make me text me any pictures and all of
Okay, so make sure you text any pictures. We can add to that slideshow, etc. So, and I knew Chom not even a year now, but after the whole COVID shit went down and he started coming to Max, got to know him really well and enjoyed my conversations with him immensely. And we didn't always agree on everything, right? And that's what I love about Chom. He was quiet, but when he had an opinion about something and someone wanted to express the contrary opinion, he wasn't afraid to say it, and I love that, right? So I loved sitting and having a beer with him, and I wrote this for him. So, and it's a little bit shorter, but it doesn't rhyme. For Chom. On two wheels, he found great joy. On the ice, he battled giants. At the stove, he made fine dishes. At home and with us, he raised the finest pepper pug that ever was. He was a quiet man at times, but never did he mince his words. His laugh was a beacon in the night, and on two wheels, we honor him. For Chom.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And if anyone else has a story or anything else they want to share, right? Now's the time to come up.
Mine's always me.
But Jimmy, you got the best stories.
Yeah.
Jim, I need Jim to say this.
It's the fourth day after meeting him. I pulled out Spanky, so I'm on my bike, head down towards the clubhouse. Boy, I'm at the red light, turning on 116, but the light's yellow. It's going yellow, yellow, you get red. I'm like, fuck my language, fuck it, I can make it. As soon as I leaned in, dude about 40, taking a turn, out of the corner of my eye, I see this motorcycle cop. I'm like, shit. It was Chom. He looked like a motorcycle cop. White helmet, black arm. I get to the next light, and Chom's behind me. He's got a little blinking flash, and I'm like, motherfucker. The light goes green, so I go to pull over. Chom pulls by me, flips me off. Kept going. So I chased him. We went through two red lights, hauled ass on 116, and we got pulled over by CHP. That's a funny little story. I want to share a little something with you. Everybody here, not just everybody in the cut, everybody in other clubs, but everybody here, we're family. We're brothers and sisters. And it's always times like this that we suddenly realize that we're close and we need to be closer to one another. Chom had a great opportunity. He met one of my very dearest friends, Susie, who's right here, and Brian O'Donnell. So when we get Chom's Harley, he needed to have the rear master cylinder breakdown. We get Chom's bike over to Brian's house. Brian and I are struggling for 2 hours. We couldn't figure out how the fuck this little part, and Brian's a master fucking Harley mechanic. We couldn't figure it out for shit. We're online, we're calling Harley. We couldn't figure it out. We're so frustrated, we walk back in the house. 2 or 3 minutes later, we hear Chom laughing. He goes, I got it. He fucking fixed it, still on no stress. One day, and the many times that Chom and I go to coffee, almost every day, we sit outside having coffee, getting to know one another, just talking. This woman sitting behind us, she's got 2 kids, and the 2 kids have this little book. And it's a book you're supposed to give to like a close friend or your best friend. It's nothing but questions. What's your favorite color? What's your best memory? Who was your first crush? Things like that. And Chom and I were looking at it, and we started asking each other questions like that. We getting to know one another. And we had the most opposite political views. I hate Chinese food. I am not a... Chom cooks with fish oil, and when I was in COVID for 30 days in quarantine, I had to choke down some of the funkiest stuff. couple days, I was feeling better because I was eating healthy. One day right here, he would be here at night, like the restaurant's closed at 9 or whatever, and if I was hungry, he would go home and he would cook us food and bring it back. And I told him I can't handle this fish oil stuff anymore. So he went back one night, he made me stir-fried beef, and broccoli, but he forgot to use fish oil. And we're sitting here, and I took one bite, and I looked at him, and he's all, "Really, motherfucker?" Because I went home and cooked you a home-cooked meal, and I had to choke this whole thing down. And it wasn't a small portion.
Oh, no, never.
But that's just some of the funny stuff about it. But the story, the most precious and best memory I have of him is we're sitting there, and we started talking about music. Chom wasn't that big on country music. I'm not that big on it. But I like a lot of folk music. And there's a singer called Tyler Childers. I don't know if anybody's ever heard a song called Lady May. So I played the song from Lady May. And in the song, it's about a guy who, in the backwoods, he's a logger. He's expressing these funny sayings, puts them together to express his love. And it's a beautiful song. And Chom loved it, and I was really surprised. And we talked about that. We talked a lot about him from coming from Laos. He had told me about his brother. He told me stories when they were growing up in Laos. He told me that he really didn't talk too much with you guys. That was just something that him and I talked about. He told me about his sister, who had married this great big black guy with all these tattoos. He thought he was pretty cool.
Anthony!
Anthony!
He talked about his brother, who's a correctional officer. And they growing up. There's some stories we'll talk about one-on-one. That's neither here. Something I learned from Chom after this tragic incident was, we're all family here. We're good friends. We're brothers. All the other clubs here, we're good brothers. Never pass up the opportunity to really get to know one another, who you are as a person. That's one thing I learned from Chom. If there's one thing I'm going to pass on to my kids, my grandkids, and to my friends, is just have a random conversation someday. Say, hey, look, who was your first crush? What was your best memory? What's your favorite song? What's your best? What's this song mean to you? Memories like that. Never pass those little opportunities up, because that brings us closer together. And that's something I've learned from Chom.
Yeah.
And every single one of you have my word here and now. I'll be more careful on my bike. But
Be fucking better.
Yeah.
is, if I suddenly ask you a random question, take a fucking half a minute. Go, yeah, think about something and answer. That's something I learned from Chom.
Damn straight.
He's always going to be in my heart. We may have lost a close friend, but we have gained a wonderful,
Yes, we have.
wonderful friend. Anybody else want to come up here? Anybody else wants to come up share a memory? But I swear to God, one of you motherfuckers asked me out for a Chinese food, I'm punching you out.
I cried more when Chom died than when my grandmother died. Because she had dementia, so it's like years and years. I never lost someone immediately. So I'm gonna try.
That's good. Thank you.
I got through the poem. You can get through this. Come on.
Chom was an asshole. He tolerated very few people. And I was envious of his ability to tell someone to fuck off. Because he did it with such respect. When COVID was happening, and nobody could be bothered to come out here when it was 35 degrees.
Come on.
Me and him, sometimes Eric, wherever you are, we would sit outside with a propane heater until the gas died, drinking, until Patty or whoever was bartending would kick us the fuck out, and we'd have to go to Max. For months, that was how it was. During the most recent wonderful presidential election, which everyone's torn up about, or however it is, we bet each other money. The last presidential election, I bet that Trump would win, and nobody ever fucking paid me. Because they were so mad. Decided not to make that many bets because I didn't know how I was going to go, but I bet Chom $20 that Trump would win. And then after a couple months and him egging me every fucking day I came here, I finally handed him $20 and Jules was outside And he went, "Hey, Jules," and he gave her $20. Turns out he made the same exact opposite bet to Jules. After months and months of kicking it with him here, I knew him before that.
That was funny.
He bestowed upon me the nickname Conspiracy Cody. A couple you might know me by. That's right. That's from Chom. It's the reason that people call me that now. And I'll remember that forever. I'll probably keep that.
I'll call you that.
Conspiracy.
He also liked to tell me that fucking bread had microchips in it, so he was never going to eat bread. I asked Chom, after bringing down some food that I had made, if he would make me some of his most excellent food I already raved about. And he told me, "No, I only make that for women I like." And he continued to make meals for Rosie and all the other bartenders. And when they would offer me a bite, he would stare at me like, "Don't you fucking take that." The last time I saw Chom, I said hello to him many times between that. But the last time we actually hung out, we were playing pool in the back over here. And I challenged him to a game. Unfortunately, I never was able to play Chom pool. Because, according to him, as much as I play, pool was racist. Because you hit the black ball in last. So he would never do it with me.
Oh my
I
god.
tolerate a lot of people on a lot of things, so I consider myself friends with a lot of people. But when I would hang out with people that John didn't like, he would tell me, "Don't come up and say hi because they'll think I'm with you, and I don't want to be around you." I haven't drank an IPA in over a year. The night Chom died, I chugged down one of those little somethings, and I'll fucking regret the hangover ever since then. I love the guy, and it feels hard to miss him. Thanks.
Tony!
So that's why you always brought my wife food, huh? That explains a lot. Now, me and my wife, we met Chom. Actually, my wife was the first one that started bringing him around here and introduced him to everybody. And what an influence he had on everybody. Just look around the room. You know, and it's an honor to meet your family. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Me and my wife went to Sacramento with him one time. He says, "Yeah, I got a nice couch. You guys can have this couch, you know, just help me move it." You know? All right. So let me use your truck. Nah, I think we're gonna need more of my trucks. So I rent a U-Haul. And we go down all the way down to Sacramento, and he should have just left it there. I don't know how long it had been since he'd been paying. I know, but I don't know how many years he'd had that storage and had not checked on it. So he'd been paying that storage for years. And I think the rats definitely got more attention to that storage than he did. So we ended up getting a whole U-Haul full of stuff and bringing it back. And he felt so bad, he took us out to Texas Roadhouse. And we all had a steak dinner. He bought us all a steak dinner. You know, just from that day on, it's funny because I always say I've been chommed. You know, if something goes around, it's, "Oh, we just got chommed." But you know, he always had a favorite story. For some reason, with me and my wife, one of his favorite phrases was serendipity. Everything just seemed to be serendipity. You know, so I'm gonna miss Chom. You know, got a lot of good memories with him. Always great conversations with him, and the way he just touched everybody just touches me to the heart. You know, and so again, I want to thank everybody coming out. And if anyone else has anything to say, no?
No?
Okay. Cool.
Well one.
So, granted, I don't know many of you very well. I know, pretty much Jimmy, Cody, Orion, and Cody and Orion introduced me to this bar. Pretty much, I met Sean not too long afterward, so really just within the last year. And I don't have as much to say as everyone else, but I just thought I had two things that I wanted to put out there for everyone. On the one hand, I've gathered from talking to pretty much everyone that I have talked to here tonight that I was not alone in being told straight off the rails. You know that it's like,
He
yeah,
doesn't
dude,
like you.
who the fuck are you? And you know, like I open my mouth and start talking to Chom, and I don't even get like, you know, a whole paragraph in talking about myself, and he's like, "Hey man, I got no respect for you." I mean, really, that's pretty much all I had to say for myself. But I did just want to propose a toast because, among other things, my buddy Chris from Georgia, many of you I'm sure know, he had the neon green Ninja. And you know, he was telling me that when he moved out here, that Chom was one of the first people he met, and you know, really hung out with him a lot, and he couldn't be here tonight, so I just wanted to propose a toast.
Yes.
And say to Chom, I hope he had a good fucking life. You know?
Cheers.
Chris still has money on the board from Chom to Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Kurt, give him my number. Tell him, text phone
Your
numbers to
number's
me.
on.
And a smile across your face. Tell me that you love me, lovely lady maid. Now I ain't the sharpest chisel that your hands have ever held. Oh, I could love you well until the roll's called on. Lovely lady maid. Now I ain't the toughest hickory that your axe has ever felled, but I'm a hickory just as well. I'm a hickory